The grand hall of Crestwood Manor gleamed under the weight of its own opulence, nestled in the misty hills of upstate New York. Its towering stone walls, draped in ivy, and its Gothic spires stood as a testament to the fortune of Walter Harrington, a titan of the hospitality industry whose $30 billion empire stretched from boutique hotels in Paris to penthouses in Dubai. On this crisp October morning in 2026, the air crackled with greed as the Harrington family gathered for the reading of his will. Crystal chandeliers cast fractured light across polished mahogany floors, while velvet curtains framed windows that overlooked manicured gardens. The guest list was a parade of ambition children in tailored Gucci suits, grandchildren in Prada gowns, lawyers with platinum cufflinks, and journalists buzzing like vultures at the iron gates, their cameras flashing, ready to carve up the Harrington legacy for headlines. Among them, Emily Harper slipped into the hall like a shadow, her presence barely registered. At 29, she wore a slightly creased linen blouse tucked into faded jeans, her worn sneakers scuffing softly against the marble. Her auburn hair fell loosely over her shoulders, unstyled, with only a simple wooden bracelet, Walter's final gift, to her adorning her wrist. She clutched a tattered journal, her only defense against the storm of disdain that greeted her. The relatives turned, their eyes narrowing. Beatrice Harrington, Emily's aunt and a resort chain executive with a $100,000 Rolex glinting on her wrist, leaned back in her plush chair and sneered. "What's she doing here? That seat's for heirs, not charity cases." The hall murmured, the words slicing through the air like a blade. Emily settled at the back, her hands steady, but the weight of their scorn pressed against her chest. Emily was Walter's youngest granddaughter, long ostracized for rejecting the family's obsession with wealth. Orphaned at 16 after her parents' tragic car accident, she'd been passed between relatives, dismissed as worthless for choosing a life of purpose over profit. She'd become a special education teacher in a small Maine town, pouring her heart into underfunded schools, transforming lives in quiet corners of the world. Her secret marriage to Nathan Caldwell, a tech billionaire, was known only to her closest ally Issa, shield to protect her from the Harringtons' venom. Today, she'd come to honor her grandfather, but her presence sparked whispers of contempt. The audience's hearts tensed, their frustration simmering at the cruelty, their curiosity ignited by her silence. The insults came fast, a venomous tide meant to drown Emily's dignity. Beatrice's allies, a cluster of family friends near the hall's towering bookshelves, turned their scorn into a performance. A hedge fund manager named Victor Crane, his velvet blazer gleaming, pointed at Emily's sneakers and laughed. Did she wander in from a thrift store? His companions roared, their voices echoing off the marble. A society columnist, Lillian Pierce, snapped a photo of Emily's blouse and posted it online with the caption, "Harrington will reading or homeless audition?" The post went viral, notifications piling up like lashes against Emily's poise. A young cousin, Jasper Reed, called out, "Emily, did you weave that bracelet from straw?" The hall chuckled, the taunt a whip against her calm. Emily adjusted her journal, her green eyes steady, but the malice was a suffocating fog. Near the hall's gilded fireplace, a group of Harrington cousins spun their disdain into a spectacle. A cousin named Clara Vaughn, her diamond earrings flashing, sneered at Emily's bracelet, hoping for $1 to buy some dignity. Her friends erupted, their laughter a guillotine. Another cousin, Miles Lang, posted a photo of Emily's jeans, captioned, "Harrington legacy or garage sale reject?" The post surged online, each like a slap to her pride. "She's a stain on our name," they whispered. A young relative shouted, "Emily, did you borrow that shirt from a custodian?" The hall laughed, but Emily's hands remained steady, her silence a fortress. The audience's rage flared, their hearts breaking at this orchestrated cruelty, their fury a spark against the cousins' arrogance. The mockery escalated. Walter's eldest son, Charles Harrington, a hotel magnate with a $200,000 Patek Philippe, leaned toward his daughter, Olivia. "She's an embarrassment," he said, his voice carrying. "No place for her in our empire." Olivia, a fashion CEO with emerald studs, nodded. "She taints our legacy. Why is she even here?" A nephew, Felix Grant, snorted from the front row, probably begging for scraps. His sister, Sophia, giggled, her ruby necklace glinting. She doesn't belong in this room. The hall erupted, the sound a lash against Emily's calm. She smoothed her bracelet, her silence a shield. As the audience's anger burned hotter, their fury a fire against the family's betrayal. The cruelty peaked when Clara stood, her earrings swaying. It's laughable she thinks Walter left her anything, she declared, pointing at Emily. A $30,000 a year teacher? Charles clapped, his watch flashing. She's a joke to this family. The hall roared, cameras flashing, journalists shouting. Emily's hands stilled, her journal glowing under the chandeliers, her presence unshaken. The audience's fury exploded, their hearts shattering at this vicious spectacle, their rage a hurricane against the Harringtons' arrogance. As the will reading began, the lawyer, Mr. Theodore Ramsay, a stern man in a pinstriped suit, cleared his throat. Mr. Walter Harrington has left minor portions to each child and grandchild, he announced, his voice echoing. But the majority of his real estate, stocks, and control of Harrington Enterprises are tied to a separate clause. The hall buzzed, relatives craning their necks, their greed palpable. Then, the oak doors swung open, and Nathan Caldwell entered like a storm. At 38, the CEO of Caldwell Innovations, a $500 billion tech empire spanning AI and renewable energy. His bespoke navy suit was a quiet crown, his gray eyes piercing. One move from him could shift markets. The hall froze as he strode past the front rows, his security team parting the crowd, and stopped before Emily. He took her hand, kissed it gently, and said, "My wife doesn't need to beg for your scraps. Everything you're chasing already belongs to her." The room gasped, the truth a thunderclap. Nathan's voice dominated. "Emily is my world," he declared, unveiling a ledger tying his empire to her decisions. He produced documents contracts signed 2 years ago, securing every heir's inheritance under Emily's name. "She saved my life in a crash," he said, showing a faded photo of their first moment, her eyes radiant. "We married in secret, her choice to live humbly." The relatives paled, their cufflinks dull. Beatrice's Rolex seemed to dim, her scorn meaningless. A journalist who mocked Emily's jeans dropped her recorder, her scoop at risk. The audience's hearts soared, their fury turning to triumph as Nathan's power and Emily's grace crushed the family's arrogance. The Harringtons erupted. Charles slammed his fist on the table. "This is absurd," he roared. Beatrice screamed, "She's a fraud." Felix dropped his phone, his deals unraveling. Olivia shouted, "A teacher?" Sophia clutched her necklace, her face pale. Emily stood calmly, her sneakers a stark contrast to their opulence, her silence a fortress. Nathan raised a hand. "There's more," he said, a screen descending to show Emily's work schools funded, lives transformed, all under a pseudonym. "She's a hero. Her wealth is her own." He turned to Charles. "Your hotels rely on my contracts. Emily decides their fate." A tablet showed Charles's stocks plummeting. The audience cheered, their anger melting into elation. Nathan faced Felix. "Your investment firm's loans? Emily can cancel them." A tablet displayed Felix's stocks crashing. He sank into his chair, his empire dust. Emily spoke, her voice clear. "Family is heart, not wealth." She opened her journal, revealing sketches of schools she'd built. Nathan unveiled a contract tying all purchases to her name. Beatrice's watch trembled, her division's stocks collapsing. A journalist who called Emily a nobody stammered, her deal severed. The hall's chandeliers glowed, a stage for Emily's coronation. Emily faced Olivia. "Your brand sponsorships end today." Olivia's phone buzzed, her deal's gone. Nathan addressed Clara. "Your media empire slandered Emily. My funding goes to her schools now." Clara's bracelet slipped, her platform crumbling. He unveiled a Caldwell initiative, naming Emily its ambassador, her face set to grace global campaigns. The audience roared, their fury transformed into pride as Emily's authority and Nathan's devotion silenced the Harringtons. Emily took Nathan's hand. "I live for purpose, not profit," she said. "Those who scorn truth must face it." The security team escorted Charles, Beatrice, and others to the sidelines, their empire's ashes. Beatrice approached, her voice breaking. "I was wrong, Emily." Charles whispered, "Please, we didn't know." Olivia knelt, her earrings dim. "Forgive me." Felix and Sophia followed, their apologies a public reckoning. Emily walked out in Nathan's arms, the manor doors opening to a storm of camera flashes. The Harringtons stood frozen, their regret a shadow they'd never escape. Outside, the world buzzed with news. The humble granddaughter had claimed the Harrington Empire. What do you think? Did Emily's silence make her victory sweeter? Or should she have fought back sooner? Is the Harringtons' downfall fair? Or did they deserve a chance at redemption? Share your thoughts, like, and subscribe for more epic tales.